Welcome back, Global War 1939. We are moving on to Italy's third turn of the game, and yes, the last in this round before moving on to round four. So we're quickly approaching the end of the beginning of the game and moving into the mid game. So with the Italians, what are we going to do? Well, for their purchase options, we're going with 3 destroyers, 2 heavy artillery, and 1 basiglary, spending all of our money. Now, for our actual turn, we do have 2 battles to declare. Of course, we're going into Cairo. We set ourselves up last turn to make that assault, so we're definitely going to go ahead and do that. Now, you can see the French and a bit of the British have really pressed in, trying to open up a second front, really trying to distract us. But we're not going to fall into that trap. Yes, we are going to let these guys really proceed and push further, but we'll have to worry about repelling them later. So the British, combined British-French, definitely have a good foothold in this region of the map. They also got a military base, so they can get fresh units in there instead of worrying just on transports. And they did bring in a secondary fleet into the Mediterranean. So all of our gains from the battle here between the Italians and the British got kind of swept away. Now, obviously, this is a much smaller fleet than what we had here. And so the Italians won it. They still had 2 destroyers, a damaged battleship, and 3 cruisers. Now, the British came in with 2 bombers and 2 swordfish fighters. Now, they lost all their planes. So, which is, it's kind of good that the British did lose a massive chunk of their air force, but at the cost of the entirety of the Italian fleet, which the Italians actually lost twice. They lost the battle, and they lost the economic of this. So, for the Italians to repurchase that fleet, they're looking at like 3 turns, as the British can really buy those 4 planes back next turn. It would cost all their money, but they would be back up, and we're really set back quite a bit. But let's try to even out the odds here and take out Cairo. They also got transport here. They used that to offload 2 more infantry for the defense, which is smart. It did expose that transport, and of course, anytime there's a free transport from the UK to take out, go do it. Their transports are timed in NL bonuses for all 5 Commonwealth nations. It is $12 total. So take it out. So how we're going to do that, we're going to bring a fighter from Tobruk, movement of 3, still got 1 movement left. Everything else is going into Cairo. So we have light tank in Syria is going to come down, basiglary artillery from Transjordan, that's going to come down. We've got 2 transports. Technically there's 4, but 2 of them are still German, so we can't use them. We'll be able to use them next turn, but they probably won't be there because of that fleet. We'll probably just come and kill those 4 transports. And we got really no way to defend it. All right. So the transport is going to come into 46, grab heavy artillery, grab the guy of Crete, come back, offload those. And then the other transport is going to grab the infantry artillery in Alexandria, drop them off. The air transport is going to move over 3, drop off an airborne. And then, of course, the 3 infantry cavalry, they're coming in as well. So we should have 12 units, army units, and then, of course, the rest of our air force, which is a bomber, fighter, and 2 tacticals. Now we can use the transports without fear because there's no airbase or fighter, so there's no scramble, which is great for us. Otherwise, he would scramble with a fighter, we lose the transports, and that would not be good. He does have about 10 units total and a fort to throw back at us. So let's see if we can't win this battle. So we're just going to get everything set up, and then we'll do the all the modifications to each unit. Okay, so the Italians got 3 artillery. That increases 3 of their guys. The tactical increases the tank. For the British, the fort increases the defense of 10 of their infantry. And then the commando has a built-in +1 into his kit. Yeah. And then the Basigliere also has a built-in +1. Now the fort kicks in, and all the Italians get reduced by 1. So you can see the combat power of the Italians gets severely reduced. The fort affects everyone. It's crazy. It's pretty brutal, actually. Anyways, so the planes, there's 5. So let's do the AA gun first. We got away with it. So 9, 9, 10, 8, 4. Can you see all that? Yes. Okay. Thank goodness we got away with that. All right. So the AA gun won't shoot anymore, but we can still take it as a casualty. All right. The Italians infantry at 1. 9, 5. So that's no good. The 3 infantry, Basigliere airborne, the 2 artillery, and the cavalry. That's 8. Yes, 8 at 2. All right, so we got a 1, a 2, a 1, a 9, 10, 3, 11, 6. So 3 hits. The bomber and heavy artillery at 3. All miss. 10, 10, 11, 12. Tank at 4. 12. Fighter at 5. 7. And tacticals at 6. 6, 3. Nice. All right. Saved. Now the British return fire, of course. They got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. And then 2 for the fort. So they have 8 returning back at us. Alright, so a 9, an 8, a 7, 11, a 6, 6, a 1, and a 3. So that's not too bad, I guess. 2 at 6. Both 9s. And then the heavy tank. With a 9. Okay. Perfect. Alright, so we lose 2 guys. He loses 5. So it'll be the AA gun +4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The fort goes away. And everything goes back to normal. Okay, and the Basigliere loses his +1. The infantry lose their +1. The commando loses his +2. And then the artillery bump 3 guys up. So, infantry at 2. Got a 3. 3 infantry, 2 artillery, airborne, cavalry. All at a 3. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 11, 10, 5, 8. Alright, so that's 3? Yes. Okay, so we're looking for 2 more. So that's the bomber, heavy artillery, 4 dice at 4. Nothing. So 12, 11, 6, 6. Tank at 5. Got a 4. Nice. Fighter at 6. Got a 1. And tacticals at 7. 4, 11. So that's 6 total. 3, 4, 5. That's all we needed. Perfect. Return. So the infantry. 5, 9, 12. Medium tank. Got a 1. And then the heavy tank. Got a 4. Alright, so we lose 2 more. Alright, lose more infantry. And then we got all the hits we need. Alright, so kind of an expected outcome. Calculating odds, that was probably even if we were using low luck and all that. So the factory goes away, of course, and we place our units. So Cairo is actually a big deal for the Axis. It's actually tied into 3 different victory points. So the city itself is a point. Cairo, like the territory, is connected to this region, which is worth a point. And then the causeway, I need 4 or 5 causeways. So that's the 3rd point that it's tied into. So if I wasn't able to take Cairo, then it'd be much harder for us to win the game, right? And now we're on both sides of the canal, so now we could freely move ships in, back and forth between the Mediterranean and Indian Ocean. Not that we have ships do anyways, but we could. And he loses that ability. Now, we have one more battle that I actually forgot about. So it's going to be the transport fighter. Transport fighter. Now, I always have bad luck taking out transports like this. For some reason, they don't like me. All right, so the white dice is going to be the transport at 1, and then this one is going to be the fighter at 6. 2, 4. See, wow. That was almost a loss. That would have been devastating. But again, expect the results. So let's move this marker over the Transjordan. So the bomber is going to go back to Tobruk. Is it? Yeah. And then the rest of the planes, they all got a movement of 1, except for the air transport got a 2, but they're all going to land in Transjordan. Those should be safe there. All right, not too bad. All right, non-combat moves. We got the 2 infantry in Cyrenaica. Tobruk is much more important than Cyrenaica, so let's back out for defense. The cavalry up in Turin is going to move over 1 to Marseille. Is it? Yeah. The tank from Greece is going to come up to Turin. The infantry in Azaro. I was going to move down to Taranto. The cavalry is also going to move down to Taranto. And that should be good. That should be good. Unit placement, Siglary, 2 heavy artillery are all going into Tobruk. And the 3 destroyers are going into 39. All right. Income. So by taking out Cairo, we're actually gaining 32. So we're actually short from last turn by 4, and that is because of the French coming in here, taking out Sicily, and then bringing ships in, which I lose a $3 increase. So by making this maneuver, this cost the Italians $6. I'll just regain 2 of it. So we're at 32 for next turn. All right. Well, that is it for the Italians. Moving on to the Germans. Again, thank you for watching. Have yourself a great day.